Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, this is my YouTube channel, Shral Thinks, where I talk about all things health anxiety related. And in this video, I really want to speak about why health anxiety recovery can take a long time, and it can be a very frustrating journey. The reason why is that, a lot of people will say to me, why is it that I'm still anxious after trying to accept my symptoms or after getting a clear MRI and whatever. Now, here's the difference. Your subconscious mind doesn't just switch off the moment you say, right, I accept, or yeah, I'm happy now, I've had this clean MRI, because you have been telling your body for maybe months, years, decades that there's something wrong. So your subconscious is not just going to let its guard down the moment you get a clean blood test or a clean EMG. Your brain is still going to think that there's a problem because you've been telling it that there's a problem for a long, long time. And your subconscious is like, hang on a minute. I'm not just going to let my guard down right now just because that EMG was clean. I'm still going to worry about this. So it will take time for your subconscious to catch up to your conscious brain, if that makes sense. So that can be a really frustrating part, because a lot of people will say to me, I don't understand why I'm still worried when, my EMG was clean. Why am I still worrying about my twitching? Or why am I still worried about brain tumours when I had an MRI and everything was fine? Why am I still in this place? And that's the answer, is because your subconscious hasn't caught up. Your subconscious mind is not just going to let its guard down that quickly and easily after months or years of worrying. It's going to take time, it's going to take consistency, determination, and most of all, patience, which can be really hard, because I know that a lot of people will say to me, I just want this all to go away, I just want to feel better. And of course we do, we all do, right? That's the ultimate goal here, is to be anxiety free. But you have to consistently make positive changes over a long period of time. And then eventually your subconscious will be like, okay, I'm starting to see that things are all right. I'm not being triggered. I'm ready to let my guard down. But until you do that and be consistent with it, you're going to still struggle. Because you might start meditating and your brain is not going to like that at first. It's not going to want you to relax, because your brain wants to keep you in this fight or flight mode. It wants to keep you in this problem solving, there is a fear here kind of mentality. So when you try and start relaxing, you start trying to do yoga or meditation, and it doesn't work after the first maybe 3 weeks of going. That's because your subconscious is not ready to let its guard down. But that's why you have to keep practicing, because so many people will say to me, yeah, I tried meditation and I just found it really triggering. I felt worse, I felt more anxious, I didn't like to be alone with my mind. Or I tried yoga and I didn't feel any benefits at all. Tried journaling, didn't make a difference. But these things that we do, these lifestyle changes and new habits, firstly, it takes a while for a habit to be formed anyway. Anywhere between 21 days and a couple of months for some people. So you have to make a decision, and this is part of the acceptance commitment therapy that I talk about with my own clients on my coaching calls, is that the biggest part of ACT is the commitment. It's the commitment to get up and do that meditation, do that journaling, do the daily walk you said you're going to do, the exercise, whatever it is. It has to be a set commitment that is done every single day, regardless of how you feel. And that's where a lot of people slack, is that they let their mood determine their actions, in the sense that they'll say, well, I didn't get a lot of sleep last night because I was worried, or I woke up feeling really anxious, so then they don't do the things that they need to do. And that then, causes a bit of a setback. And if you keep setting yourself back, you just end up in this place of no movement. So it has to be a commitment, and you have to really want it as well. This is one thing that I always say to people, is you have to want it, because it's all well and good me sitting here saying to you guys that this is what you need to do, like you need to be consistent, you need to be patient. But if the person's not doing it, that's where I can't help, because it's, you have to want it, you have to want change, and you have to want to get better. You have to say to yourself, I don't want to live with this anxiety anymore. I don't want my entire life to look like this. I don't want to suffer and live with these intrusive, horrible health anxiety thoughts that keep me from being the best version of myself, from enjoying life, from finding joy, to, you know, accepting that life is uncertain and the uncertainty can feel really uncomfortable, but choosing to live anyway. Because the biggest thing with health anxiety is this whole notion of uncertainty. It's what health anxiety is all about. We cannot deal with the uncertainty, and that's why health anxiety feels so heavy, because we're walking around constantly in limbo, constantly in this stage of, do I have this disease, do I not have it? So life is really hard in the meantime. It's hard to enjoy life when you're constantly contemplating if you're dying or not. and that's how I lived for years, thinking that I was dying every single day from various diseases. So it does have to be a commitment, and commitment is hard, like organisation is hard. Sometimes the day will just run away with itself, and, you know, before you know it, we've looked after the kids, we've done some work, we've had food, had a shower, and it's like 10 p.m. and we haven't done the stuff that we want to do. But we have to make time for these things, and that can look differently for everybody. It might be that you do these things on your lunch break. It might be that you do them in the morning before you go to work. It might be that you miss that hour of TV and you do these self-improvement things in the evening instead. But it will, like I said, it will take time for your brain to realise and to accept that you're not in a state of fear anymore. Like it will take time. It will take time, and so you have to be consistent and you have to want it. I think for me, wanting it is like the most important thing, because we feel like we want recovery, and a lot of people who like join my Patreon, they say they want to get better, but then I gently have to kind of say to them, like, but I don't see you working for it. I don't see the effort here, you know. And some people might be a bit taken aback by that, but it's true, because I used to say, like, you know, I want to get better, I don't want to live like this anymore. But I was self-sabotaging first and foremost, because I was, you know, giving into one of my safety behaviours, like Googling my symptoms, constantly going to A&E, checking, reassurance seeking all the time. So I was feeding my anxiety when I should have been starving it, and I wasn't doing the things that were going to help me. Or if I was doing them half-heartedly. They weren't really a big priority. I was just very sort of like, oh yeah, let me quickly journal before bed. It wasn't like I wasn't prioritising it the way that I should. So it is normal for health anxiety recovery to take a long time. It's not an overnight thing. It's not like you're going to read a book and you just one day decide, yeah, I accept everything, I'm going to live in a state of acceptance and everything goes away. Or like I say, it's not going to be that you go and get your scan results and it's fine and that it's going to go away. Like, it is going to be like a process, and that process unfortunately will take time. And you have to not get disheartened by that. And I know it can feel disheartening when, you know, you think you're making these positive changes and you're not seeing the benefits from it. But you have to realise that to rewire your subconscious is going to take time, because it took you a long time to get to this state of anxiety, because you repeatedly over months or years told your brain that there's something wrong. And now what you have to do is the opposite. You have to tell your brain that you're safe, that you're healthy, that you're happy, that there's no threat, and that is going to take time. So that's something that we have to consider, and something that I always try and get across with my own clients. And I know how frustrating the journey can be. Trust me, like, I went through it myself. Like, it's beyond frustrating when you just want to feel better. But as I said, unfortunately, these things do take time, and it's just part of the process, and we have to learn to love the process as well, and almost enjoy it and see the recovery at the end, and know that that is the end goal, and that should be what drives us forward. This future version of yourself that you dream of being, go and get it. Like, put in the hard work and make sure you become that person. There probably will be setbacks, and there will be ups and downs, and there will be moments of despair, and you'll have triggers and things will happen. But if you remain consistent, you will get there. So yeah, that's basically pretty much it in a nutshell that I wanted to get across in this video. Now, a lot of you guys will know that I have a Patreon where people speak with me weekly. But I have designed sort of like a more intense program that I'm only going to accept a handful of people, probably maybe no more than 10 people every quarter, so every 3 months. And it's going to be a really in-depth program that is tailored to you. And you can apply for this mentorship. In the description of this video, I'm actually going to leave my work email so that you can get in contact if you think it's something that you would want to do. But basically what it's going to look like is going to be a 3-month intensive mentorship with me, which is going to involve 12 calls in total. So that's going to be a call every week. A plan tailored specifically to you of how we can get your life back and how you can recover from health anxiety and get to a place of joy and happiness. It's also going to be that you'll have 24 access to me, meaning that, you know, you can send voice notes, messages, and I'll be there, you know, to guide you through the whole 3 months. Now, obviously, given that you're going to have 24/7 access to me, and it's going to be, you know, coaching calls per week, and this is going to be a big tailored plan specifically for you, it is going to be expensive because it's going to take up a lot of my time and resources. So this is going to be, you know, it is going to be in the thousands sort of thing. It's not going to be cheap. So it's not, I want to be like open and transparent about that it's not going to be like a couple of £100. It's going to be between the 2,000 and 3,000 mark, depending on like what it is that you want help with, kind of thing. But if you want to apply for this, and I'm going to be quite open and honest and say that like I might not work with everybody, because if I don't feel confident that I can help the person, I absolutely would not just like take somebody's money. It's going to be people that I really feel that I can help, that I resonate with, and basically I will be guiding you through over a 3-month period of exactly what it was that I did, but more specifically what you need to do, because, you know, X, Y, and Z might have helped me, but that might not help you, and we'll need to dig into like what it is that's gonna work for you. So if you are interested in applying for this and making that, you know, big investment in yourself, then you can email me. Like I said, I'm going to put the email in this video. And it will be, like I said, it will be like quite an intense 3 months of us basically working our asses off to get you to this place where you get your life back, and we squash the health anxiety essentially. And I'm confident that I can do that as well. But obviously just email me. What I'll be doing is with people who are sort of interested is like we'll be doing like a discovery call where we see whether we would be a good fit for each other, and I will sort of like send you my template of exactly what will be included in this mentorship. And like I said, I appreciate that it is expensive. And I'm not going to be like massively sort of like advertising it, because like I said, I only want to take a handful of people anyway. Just because on top of my Patreon and being a mum and everything, like I can't take on too many people. But yeah, anyways guys, that aside, self-advertisement aside, if you like the content on here, find me on Instagram, same name, Sherelle Thinks. I post a ton of health anxiety reels, a little bit more lighthearted on the Instagram page. But yeah, loads of resources and content on there as well. And if you want to join my Patreon, where you can see my Patreon only posts, so I make videos and lots of blog posts just specifically for my Patreon, you can join that. It's £10 a month, and you basically get access to all of my Patreon stuff, and you can message me directly. But if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys very soon on my next one. Bye.